So let's talk a little bit about content for your link wheel now. Now, the type of content you use will depend upon your strategy for your link wheel. Are you looking at dominating the top 10 and having human visitors? Or are you basically not fussed about the human visitors and all you want is to get the links to your site? If you really want human visitors and you want to rank well, then you need unique content. It has to be well written unique content, either written by yourself or outsourced. It doesn't matter which. If you're outsourcing it, be prepared to pay sort of $10-ish for decent quality content. Now, if you're creating, say, a 10 link wheel, a 10-spoke link wheel, each one maybe has 2 pieces of content on it, that means you need 20 unique pieces of content. Now, this isn't, particularly practical because it's going to take you a couple of days to write it, or it's going to cost you a couple of $100 to outsource it. So what you might do is you might get 2 or 3 unique articles written, and then spin it or something else to stretch the content out so you can use it in your link wheels. Now, the last thing you want is for all your link wheels to be identical in content if you are expecting real people to visit and you want them to read it. If it's all the same, they're going to leave the site very quickly because they're going to go, well, I've seen this already, and go. So if you've got unique content on each one, it's very, very powerful because you can really dominate the search results. The other option, of course, is to use private label rights content. Now, this can be used as is or rewritten, or, as we'll talk about in a minute, spun. It depends upon what you want to achieve. Now, PLR content you're probably going to use if you are not too worried about humans ever really visiting it, because again, you don't want people coming to your site and going, oh, I've already seen this. They've seen it lots and lots of places. You want them to come there, find something fresh, new and interesting, and then obviously come through to your money site. The final option, of course, is spun content. It can be either unique or PLR spun. Now, in reality, what you are likely to use is a combination of these. You're likely to use some unique content, some spun unique content, some rewritten or spun PLR content. You're going to use a combination of it because it's probably most cost effective, and it's also going to give you sort of the quickest and the best results. So you're likely to use a combination of this, and it will vary from link wheel to link wheel as to, do you have PLR content that's good enough quality? Do you have access to a spinner? Have you got someone to write the unique content? So it's going to vary. But what I want to do now is just talk a little bit more about spinning the content, because spinning is another thing that people don't really understand, and there's a lot of, shall we say, mystique and a lot of misunderstanding. So firstly, you need a 450 plus word article. You need a decent length article. If it's too short, then it's not really enough content for link wheel. You want something that's good length. About 450, 500 to 600 words is enough. Any longer than that, and you might as well stretch it out a little bit longer and split it into 2. So somewhere between 450 and 600-ish words, and not exact figures. So somewhere around that. Once you've done that, you won't then want to use your particular spinning syntax to rewrite each sentence 3 times. Now, this will vary according to what type of spinner software you're using, but basically you rewrite each sentence 3 times. And you will find that perhaps you can't rewrite all of them. You may find that some of them you can only rewrite once or twice. Other sentences you may be able to rewrite 5 or 6 times. So, 3's are sort of average you're looking for. So some will be less and some will be more. Just if you can rewrite it a number of times, rewrite it that number of times. Then within each sentence that you've rewritten, basically every single one of the sentences, you spin as many phrases and words as you can. So if there's a phrase that you can spin, you spin it. If there's a single word you can spin, you spin that as well. So you spin the single words typically with synonyms and the phrases with other phrases that mean the same. You will spin contractions with the full version, so can't becomes cannot, your becomes you are, there becomes they are, and so on. And what this does is this varies the word length of the article and helps make it that little bit more unique. Now, if you've got numbers, you may spin those between number 1 and the word 1. If you've got lists, you may do those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, IV, V, VI, and so on, or A, B, C, D, E, something like that. So you got to try and spin as much as you can so it varies and looks different. And if you can do that, then obviously that's going to make the article highly unique. You're going to get a massive level of uniqueness, which means you can get 50, 60, 70 plus articles out of a single article that are really, really unique. And that is fantastic and just what you want, because the more unique your articles are, then obviously the better it's going to be for you, simply because you're going to have unique content that looks and sounds different on all of your link wheel properties. Now, there are automated spinners out there that you can use, and I've experimented with a few of them, and I can honestly say that whilst they do produce a high level of uniqueness, they don't produce content that is readable for humans. There's plenty of words which have many meanings in the English language, which the spinners don't understand the context. They just look at the word and spin that word. They don't understand the context which the word is being used in. So, for example, one niche that I've seen a lot of recently is, say, past life regression. Now, put that into an automated spinner, and life and regression will be left alone. But past will be spun to previous, past and previous. And of course, previous life regression doesn't make sense. It's not the same thing. And there's many other examples like that. So you can use an automated spinner if you're creating canon fodder that's just for the search engines and you don't care about real visitors ever actually seeing it. And if you do that, then obviously be aware that it's not going to read properly and it's not going to make sense. But if you follow through what we've talked about here for spinning your link wheel content, then you are going to find that it's very, very good. You're going to get some really, really good unique content that means your link wheel is going to be unique. So that means that every single site can rank very, very well, and you are much more in the chance of dominating the search engine results and really, really being the #1 player in your particular niche.